Listen, so much out there. CWBR. We got us a chat pump survivors, my friends. 450, that major Oracle level. So 450 signal standard of afternoon break on this thing. CWBR 450 breaks, risking. I'd probably risk a little above VWAP, maybe in that 415 area, and then a goal of, geez, oh Pete's. This is a 3 million floater, and it is a chat pump survivor, and it's traded 25 million shares, and it's like blue sky to the upside. How do you even pick a goal on this? Okay, let me take my notes. CW, it was, oh my gosh. So many stocks. CWB. By the way, great day yesterday. Great day yesterday on PAC-W in the morning. By the way, PAC-W continues. And MBOT in the afternoon. 450. And I will give more context. Give me 1 second. Stop. Let's go 415. Let me zoom in here. I will give more context. Give me a second. Yeah, I like 415. And then a goal of, well, we're risking 35 cents. Buck of upside, 550. I mean, that gets us our 3-to-1 risk to reward. Anyway, daily double down. CWBR was one of the early morning runner. Bunch of people traded this in pre-market. Was killer, and this was a chat pump. So the chat pump guy is back, and this one has survived. And we know 9 out of 10 chat pumps fail at the open. So when this pulled, we know it attracts short sellers. So chat pump survivor. And we know it's loaded with shorts. And it had news this morning, ultimately. And it's a biotech. And news and a float rotating biotech. So, now, I will tell you this. It was very difficult to pick the daily double down, okay? We got basically 3 other plays, okay? OCEA, SHPH, and HTCR. All of these, those are probably the 4 number ones, but definitely all still in play. Now, I do want to go back to revisit the morning number 1 idea. Number 1, QUBT. This morning, our plan kept us safe, okay? Our plan kept us safe. We were basically trading a dip and rip. Now, what's interesting, and this is good commentary, because it's kind of funny, because ultimately HTCR and QUBT are basically the same thing. They're basically the same thing. And sometimes, you know, and this is where we talk about the market always being right. And listen, the market simply chose HTCR today, you know, and that's where, you know, we can go over our theses, our plans, etc. And I stand by the breakdown on QUBT. Like everything we went over this morning on QUBT, 2 press releases, quantum computing, NASA, etc., etc., etc. But the market chose HTCR as today's quantum computing AI play of the day. And sometimes the market does that. Now, I do want to recap. If you remember, the way our plans work is if you followed the plan on QUBT, you would have never entered it, okay? There was never a entry on QUBT because it never hit the signal. So we stayed safe, and that's the beauty of it. Ultimately, that's what we want to do every single day. And if we can, you know, if like something I say, if the non-working trades is just a no-go, I mean, that's great. Because with the beauty with QUBT is, if you didn't trade it, no harm, no foul, we move on. And you could have traded HTCR or OCEA on your own. Amazing Oracle signal on OCEA. So at $8.16. Funny thing, Sykes, Tim Sykes actually bought it right at the Oracle signal this morning. I think his initial entry was 8.10, which is basically 8.16. Someone says, when will QUBT go up? I do not know. Remember, QUBT, we just discussed, never hit the signal. So guys, you got to understand, if you're trading random levels in random areas, you're going to get random results. I laid it all out right here. The 5,000 buzzwords and back-to-back PRs, AI, quantum computing, et cetera, et cetera. It's all right here, okay? If you're trading random levels, you will get random results. You got to remember that, okay? So back to the agenda. So HTCR versus QUBT, I mean, they're kind of the same. The market simply chose HTCR today. Going back to OCEA, this is why I love and I highly recommend you put lines on your chart. And basically, we had these blue lines. Let me zoom in. These are lines from weeks ago, that 770 by 730 area on OCEA. This is one of those recent IPOs and lower float stocks. And when they retest those levels, man, you can see it's a big breakout from a few months ago. So it is so powerful. Just SHPH new high day. I tell you, I deliberated. I'm gonna stick with CWBR simply because I love that perk. Remember, the signal is 450. Wait for the signal. But listen, if you just took SHPH right here, you got this is sympathy to OCEA. These ran together several times, and low float rotation, breaking the high of the day. If you're in SHPH right now, well done. I mean, I still think CWBR has good potential this afternoon, but if you took SHPH instead, well done. PACW, beautiful from yesterday morning, and then a nice continuation play today. PACW, remember the plan yesterday morning, very solid, just a nice all-day grind and close at the high of the day. So when people ask about, I often get asked, hey, what makes you decide to hold a stock overnight? It's stuff like PACW, okay? Just a nice orderly grind the whole day, closes around the high of the day, and then just grinds higher. So that being said, remember PACW was yesterday's morning idea, and then MBOT was yesterday's afternoon idea, and both worked out, about as good as you can get. You look at PACW, 650 entry, 750 goal. It hit 850 this morning. And then you look at MBOT at 1201. It was cool. We went over this one live. 1201 broke that 250 level and went to, how high did it go? Did it hit 4 or almost 4? 444 plus. It's crazy. So anyway, nice, solid day yesterday. And, this goes back to when you look at how well yesterday went, okay? That is why we have to focus on keeping your losses small and maximizing your gains. Because, listen, you look at yesterday, the two ideas, the morning idea, absolutely beautiful. The afternoon idea, absolutely beautiful. Now, listen, tomorrow, maybe there's a losing trade. Maybe we have a losing trade. But if you it's that same idea, and you've heard it a million times, but people seem to not necessarily hear this, okay? But you will never be consistently profitable unless you stop out at the right level and then you let your winners run. Now, what so many new traders do is they let their, actually let me know in chat, how many of you do this? You cut your winners short. You see green and you just take it. You just take it. And then you let your losers run. How many of you cut profits right away because you see green? And then you sit there on your losers. Like you sell your winners in 5 minutes and then you'll sit there in a loser for weeks or months. How many of you do that? You will never be profitable if you do that. It is impossible. It will never work. And that's why we look at these types of setups that have the huge potential. Like I think back to last week. Remember EPOW and IMMP, okay? I think it was last Wednesday. Like that last Wednesday is just such a perfect idea of what we look to do. EPOW, 20 cents a risk and was a losing trade. EPOW, unlike QUBT, EPOW hit the signal and failed 20 cents a risk. Later that same day, IMMP, we had 20 cents a risk and there was like $2 of upside. Okay? You guys will hear this example a lot. I'm going to bring up that day a lot. Because to me, it was just such a perfect example. The stocks were similarly priced. The risk was similar. I think they both had 20 cents of risk. One didn't work, and it went down 20 cents, hit the stop. The other one went up $2. I mean, that's trading. So, and that is why, okay, so how do we fix this, okay? Understand, guys, there is not a coincidence, okay? The reason, like, as far as I know, you guys tell me. Like, let's go back to the Daily Double Down CWBR, okay? As far as I know, no one structures and plans out trades the way that I have developed to teach others over the last 17 years, and I've been doing it for 8 years, okay? This whole idea of no guessing games, okay? Listen, you might follow other traders, which is great, but then they'll just say, cut your losses small. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? They buy a stock and then they sell the stock and they say, keep your losses small. Well, why did you sell here? Why did you enter here? Why did you take profits here? The reason we structure everything exactly like this is there's no questions, okay? There's no variables involved. See, this is where we talk about conditional statements, okay? Yes, I'm a dork, okay? Dorks out there will know what a conditional statement is. An if, then, else statement, okay? That is the way we structure our trading principles. If something happens, we do this. Then we do this. So if CWBR hits 450, we act on the trade. If it drops to 415, we stop out. Else, we look to take profits at the end of the day or at that 550 level, whichever comes first. Did you hear that? Now then we also talk about the thesis. There are absolutely no variables or no questions. There's nothing there. There are no, what is the question on CWBR for the Daily Double Up? What possible question could you ask? And I'm not saying that to be a jerk or to yell at you. What is left to know? We completely laid out the thesis. We have all of our levels. We enter at 450, we stop out at 415, and we either take profits into the end of the day or stop out whichever, or take small profits, whichever comes first. That's it. There's no questions. So if you're continuing to get random results, you need to fix that. And the best way to fix that is to, in my opinion, listen, I go over as much as I possibly can in these webinars. But the best way to do it is either one of two things. Follow the plan, okay? Again, people are asking me what to do with QUBT. Again, what is the question on QUBT? You guys gotta ask better questions. What is the question on QUBT? It didn't hit the signal, which was the top of the 5-minute pre-market candle. Standard dip and rip approach. It never hit the signal. What questions are there? And again, I know I'm being a little redundant here, but you guys got to either quit doing random stuff or learn how to trade like a professional. And you can learn how to trade like a professional by clicking that link, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.